everybody, today I'm going to be setting up the Dayan Guhong V4 M. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so before we begin, I just want to make an announcement that I have created an Ninja Cube Shorts. I will put it on screen, and there will be a link in the description and in the pinned comment in the comment section. So anyway, now let's get back into the video. I'm just going to be setting up this cube, the Dayan Guhong V4 M, because as you know, the 11M Pro is my main, but honestly, it just set up a lot better than this, and I really want to give this a shot. So right now, I've already tried setting it up, but not super successfully, so I'm going to try to do it well today. But as you can see, it's like super duper fast. I might actually add some extra magnets. I'll talk about that after I clean it off and have it disassembled, but make sure to watch until then and watch the end of the video to see how I'm going to set this up. And also, sorry that this is coming on Thursday because my microphone adapter broke. That's basically why it's coming on Thursday instead of Monday. Sorry, I lied in my upload schedule. Okay, so I'm not actually sure the loops that we're going to need. I'll see a little later. I'm probably going to use some angstrom loops with this because I think it works really well with this puzzle. But anyway, now let's just disassemble it. You can watch my disassembly and assembly tutorial for the 3x3 if you want to know how to. Okay, so now that I have it disassembled, what I need to do now is just wipe everything off. So I already did it in my Thunderclap V3 M setup tutorial. And for this, it will be a little different, but pretty much the same. Again, I'm going to use my towel so I don't get lube on my table. And then for the edges, just kind of wipe around everywhere. So wipe in here and over here. Again, this will work for other cubes, but specifically for the Dayan Guhong V4 M. Make sure to get all the lube off. The corners are a little more difficult than regular because you have to get in here. But again, just try to wipe it off the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just getting like 90% of the factory lube off should do. And also you want to make sure that you wipe the core, just wipe anywhere around. Now let me just go time lapse everything. So now that I finished wiping everything off, what I'm actually going to experiment with is adding extra magnets to the edges since the magnet strength is a bit weak. Got some extra Rs3 M 2020 magnets, but I haven't installed them yet. And I'm just going to test it with this cube because it's not my main and I don't think it will be. But anyway, a quick overview of how to do it. You basically break apart the edges. Be careful with this cube since the plastic is pretty thin. Okay, sorry I couldn't do it on camera, but it's actually really hard for some of them. You should be able to do is just drop it right up here and then just move it like this. I'm going to write on screen if it actually works, but I'm just going to do it with the rest of this. So I have put the extra magnets in. I'm just going to see how the magnet strength feels. Okay, it actually feels significantly stronger. I would say I like it better this way because it feels more controllable. So I'm probably going to leave these in actually. This feels really nice. It does not give the full range of motion. I hope these don't fall out as it is not completely aligned with the magnet since the magnet is partly in the slot and partly not. But this actually feels really nice. Yeah, I really do like this better than the original. Okay, so now we're on to tensioning. I've already tensioned this. It will be pretty loose out of the box, but in order to make sure they're even, you can take a couple pieces out on each side and make sure that each screw is going like the same number of whatever those things are, like the different circular things on the screw, like any number of those or like none. And then you do it for all 6 sides. And then once you get that, you figure out if it's too loose or too tight. This will take some solving, obviously. And then you just tighten each screw by a certain amount, and then you have even tensions to the tensions that you like. Mine are already pretty good tensions, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, and also I found on this cube that there's basically no spring noise, so I wouldn't recommend lubing the springs. But if you do have a cube that you need to lube the springs for, in this case you can't just lube it from here. But in the Thunderclap V3, as you can see, you can just lube the spring. So what I would do is I would just put a thin layer of lube all around the spring, the washer if you have one, and then on the other side of the screw. But obviously here we can't do that, so you have to do is completely unscrew it, and then what you'll do is you just put the lube on the same places and then screw it back. Make sure you have even tensions. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lube it, and this is definitely the hardest part of setting up the cube because you don't know exactly how lubes will respond. I'm first going to start with some weight 5 just because it's good to have some silicone in before you add some other lubes. So I'm just going to take out an edge and a corner. I'm just going to kind of put a little bit of weight 5 all around this. Just a very thin layer because this is not the primary lube unless you only have this that you should be using, in my opinion, at least for this cube. You're definitely going to want to make sure to lube right here because this part is the tracks for the corner, and it's pretty important that you get this lube because it will be a lot smoother. Okay, so a very thin layer of lube has been applied to the corner, so I'm just going to push it back in. Basically the same thing on the edge, just along the tracks, very thin layer on each side, and then just a little bit along the whole piece. Of course, don't forget to lube here too. Okay, so anyway, now that I've done that, I'm just going to put this back into the cube. Now let me just do a couple solves to break it in. It already feels better and more controllable. As you can see at the beginning, it is very catchy with the lube. Okay, so 1 to 2 solves seem to be enough. Now it feels a lot better, though it is kind of catchy. But again, it does need to be slowed down more. So I'm going to be using an angstrom setup, but if you want, you can use Lubical Silk from the Cubicle, or Cosmos, or Nebula, because those are all really good for slowing cubes down. But again, this will just be based on angstrom setups. So you're first going to apply the slower one, which is called Gravitas. It looks very much like Vaseline, if you know what that looks like, but all you're going to do is take out a piece. Obviously, it should be something that's different than you lube the weight 5 with, because if you don't do that, it's going to be super slimy. I know the edge is definitely going to be different. Here with the corner, yes, this is different. And you're going to use this thing, take a little bit, then just kind of put it in the track. I would say just mostly the tracks and like right here. I don't think you need to go here, so I'm just going to do that with the edge and the corner. Okay, so the corner is going to go back in. Okay, and now the edge goes back in. So especially with Gravitas, you're definitely going to want to break it in because, again, the corner cutting is really bad after you add lube like this, and obviously it's uneven. This side does not feel like it has any lube. So I'm just going to do 1 to 2 solves. Remember, it's going to get a lot faster even if you just do 1 solve. Now we're going to apply the more milky kind. I'm not going to do this at all on camera because I don't want to get it on my table, but you're just going to apply it in the exact same places. Obviously not in the same pieces. Okay, here goes the corner. Okay, and here goes the edge. Okay, so you might notice that there might be stuff on the outside from any of the lubes, so I'm just going to wipe the whole outside right now. Okay, that looks pretty good. And right now, your cube should feel really nice, but definitely it should need to be broken in. Mine feels really nice, a lot better than it did with no lube. It feels really soft, but I'm just going to break it in. If you'd like to speed it up a bit, the break-in process, you can add DNM, or if it gets a little slow, you can add DNM. I have just a 3cc bottle because it came with the sale, but the stuff works really well to make it faster. So yeah, if you want to speed up the break-in process, it probably won't be quite as good, but it would definitely be a lot faster of a break-in process. I would definitely do that. Okay, so it's pretty broken in right now, and it has a really nice feeling. Yeah, this actually could be my main. Again, I'll have to break it in a little more, but this does feel really nice. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial of the setup on the Guhong V4 M. So anyway, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, and see everybody later.